Hi, my name is Alexander Fusco. I'm entering my third season as the boys varsity tennis coach here at Bishop Fenwick. I think the reception that I get from my players and even my parents, in my first season, obviously our second season was canceled due to the coronavirus. One thing that was really special to me was, sort of hearing how my players enjoyed their season. For example, we didn't emerge victorious in our championship, but to have my players kind of come up to me and just talk about how much fun they had, how much they enjoyed being part of this team and this program, to have even parents come up to me and just even express that even further, how much fun their son had and to say nice things. It's not all about just winning a championship. Those are some little things that also mean a lot as well. Well, from the tennis aspect, one thing I've always said is that tennis is a sport for life. After here, as someone who also competed in various athletics, there's going to come a time where you might not be able to play baseball anymore. You might not be able to find 18 people to have a baseball game. You might not be able to get together and have a football game because you have to go to work the next day and you'd be putting yourself at risk of injury. Tennis can be played from when you're a child all the way up till even into your late 60s. And I think that's something that I hope my players, if they don't go on to play in college, hopefully they can play in life. A couple are, I think a lot of the bonding experiences that I have with the players, for example, some of the road trips that we take, it's kind of nice when we get a little money to maybe get some dinner after a match, hopefully a win. Usually the spirits are much higher that way. And also the development of players. An example is I had a couple of members of the team last year who, although played tennis in perhaps various aspects of life, never really played on at a competitive level, let alone being a part of the team. And to watch them sort of improve from start to finish, it's just amazing, and it certainly makes me feel good that I was able to help that, and I certainly hope they continue because, unfortunately, when it comes to tennis, everything that you may have worked for at some point, if you kind of stop that, it will disappear. And I hope that despite COVID and everything like that, I hope a lot of my players have still been working hard and getting ready for this upcoming season. I think it means that you're also, especially playing for a school such as this, playing for any school really or team, you're representing so much more than just yourself. You get out there. One thing about tennis is a sport of individuals. You go out onto that court and it's just you and your opponent and a ball. But when you have the black and gold on, it's also representing something more than just yourself. So the representation of the institution, I think, is very important, especially when it comes to gratuitous play, sports and sportsmanship and things of that nature. It's something that I preach very often to my players. One thing that when I was playing in college was even when there was a time that perhaps you were playing a lesser opponent, if you will, I always try, one thing that I always say to my players is that I hope that although things get very competitive, sometimes you might even have an opponent who's clearly getting very competitive as well. I hope that you can still maintain and you can also be an ambassador for the sport. So maybe when that time comes where maybe we have a match against a school or an individual has a match against a lesser player, they could still be very cordial and even help that individual to keep them interested and not have them be upset about a loss, but maybe just happy that they got a chance to play. Well, I hope that I can prove that to them. I think if there's an opportunity to sort of be able to, one of the things that Paul, the women's coach, and I have discussed is often having a tennis camp here. And I hope that perhaps if we ever get a chance to do that, I know it might be very difficult, especially with a pandemic going on, that they get to meet me, they get to see how I coach, and they get to know a little bit about me as a person, and hopefully that will motivate them to want to come here, train under me, play for this institution.